Wait, before we start the video, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone supporting. I got a lot of positive feedback after my last video. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe as we're over halfway of hitting 1,000 subs. Right, back to the video. Literally last week I posted a video explaining how much it cost me to rebuild this car and finally finish it. And now we're back to square one. So, what happened? Well, I woke up this morning, had a tea, grabbed my keys and went to warm up the car. But there was an error warning with the coolant, so I turned the car off, opened the bonnet, topped up the coolant and put some cardboard underneath the car and then went to start the car up again. And after a few minutes of letting the car idle, sure enough I found a coolant leak. Now at first I thought it could be a loose or corroded coolant pipe, but after inspecting the top of the engine I actually found some coolant near the auxiliaries. So I took the cam belt cover off and found some water had splashed into the inside, which threw some alarm bells. Now the cam belt works in sync with the water pump, so the likelihood is that the water pump seal actually might have failed. And since I didn't get any history with the car, I'm thinking it might be a good idea to fit a new cam belt or water pump anyway so that I know they're sound. Now the only issue with that is that it's a pretty big job and I've actually ordered the kit already, and while that takes time to arrive, we're going to get on with some other problems, so let's take a look at them. Now the first problem is a dodgy noise coming from the front right wheel, so let's take a look. That really wasn't easy to hear on camera, but it's definitely evident in person. Right, it's time to get it sorted. Now this side is where the crash actually originated from, so it does throw a bit of a red flag. But I've been driving the car for thousands of miles now and I haven't actually had a problem until now. Now after looking on forums, some people are saying that tyres in the cold weather could be the issue. But because it's only specifically on this side, I'm thinking it could be CV joint related. So for those that don't know, the CV joint converts constant power from the axle at any angle. This basically means you can still get power to your wheels while you're turning and not just in a straight line. Now the kit contains the CV joint, a rubber boot, some clips and a new bolt and some grease. So we finally got the axle off now. Just going to show you what it's like behind there. So I've got the whole hub off. So this is the CV joint right here, and we're going to get that out and see if it fixes the problem. So let's do that. Right, so I've been trying to take this CV joint out for about 3 hours now and it's just not budging, so let me show you where we're at. So I've got access to everything down here. The CV boot is off, and if I just open this up, the axle is still in there and the spline just doesn't want to come out of the CV joint. I've been trying everything. We might have to wait until I can get a slide hammer and pull it out. Right, so last night it got too dark to keep filming, but basically we had an absolute mare putting some of the suspension bits back together, but I left the axle off back there tied up and I put the wheel back on so we could wheel it out, and it didn't go to plan. I think it might have popped a wheel bearing, but we're going to take a look. Right now we've got this jack here that we're going to try and place under, roll it out so I can get it in a better space to work on. Okay, so we've been trying to move the car with the trolley jack underneath there. So I decided to try and get around to the wheel, and as you can see, it's not good. So the bearings have come out of the wheel bearing itself in the hub. We're going to try and put some of the bearings back in, just see if we can squeeze it on slightly and then get the axle through and just squeeze it together. Attempt number 3 to try and get this bloody car moving. I've got these wheel dollies that are going to go underneath the wheels, and hopefully we'll be able to get this car out of the alleyway, so let's give it a shot. Right, we've had a bit of change of plan. So I tried actually getting the CV joint with a special tool that we bought, like an extraction tool, but that actually ended up breaking the tool. So what I've done instead is I've got the whole drive shaft off with the CV joint at the top, and we're going to take it to a garage and hopefully have it pressed out, and then we can put the new one on and fit it back on basically. Now to do that, it's going to take a bit of time, so for now we're going to move on to a more pressing matter. T-brake. Thanks buddy. Now last week you would have seen me glossing the bumper to get it back to factory standard and match it with the rest of the panels, and at first it looked like I did a good job, but after checking it in the morning it didn't go to plan. Basically I f***ed it. Okay, so me being an idiot last time, left it to dry outside overnight, and look at the state of the bumper. All this stuff is the water that's contaminated into the gloss lacquer that I left to dry overnight, but I'm hoping that I can just basically get that off using a buffing machine, which I'm going to go through now. Now some people have said that I've made a mess of the bumper and should get it professionally painted. I mean, yeah, I could do that, but what would I learn from it? With that mentality, I may as well have sent the crash car when I originally bought it to someone to professionally rebuild it for twice the money. So I'm going to keep grinding away at it until I get it perfect, and I'll show you exactly how I do it. First things first, we're going to have to take back some of that gloss layer that I left to dry overnight on the bumper, and to do that I'm going to use a machine polisher. Right, we're going to have to end the video there, guys. It's getting late now, but we've done a good job on the bumper. I'm absolutely filthy with all of the polishing and stuff. Next week, hopefully, we're going to get all the parts to get the cam belt and water pump done, and hopefully the CV joint will be out and sorted by then. So we'll have the car up and running next week, so tune in next time. See you then.